Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Mason the Mason. In this video, I am laying a bunch of porch pillars. So if you see, I got all these chimney blocks stacked up. We're going 4 high with our, where the pillars are gonna, or the posts are gonna set. And I'm just gonna talk you through how to do a job like this. So we got all our blocks stocked out, right? And if you look here, this is where the wall line is. So we're 2.5 inches in, 2.5 inches in. And I got a green line going all the way down. So I did 2.5 inches on the other side as well and snapped the line. So the reason I did that is just because if there's any imperfections in the forms where our pillars set, they will still be in a straight line. So we just wanted all the pillars to be completely straight. I'm building my pillars right on these saw cuts. You want them centered on the saw cuts. So all I got to do is find the center of my block here, which is right there. I put a mark there, and match it up on that and match it up to the green line, and I'm good to go up. And then yeah, on the ends, that doesn't matter, just gonna stack it up. So I'm gonna stack up this end, stack up the far end, and go from there. Alrighty, so I'm almost done with this side of my pillars, right? So I got this is my last one, just one more thing. So I did this one and I did the end one, right, all the way down there, and now I have a line hooked up. And I usually check it on the 3rd course, so I know for a fact that's the straight line they go off of, right? That chalk line is straight, keeps them in line. Then I go on the 3rd one up here and make sure that that line hits, just to double check that I was plumb when I came up the pillar, and made sure that all of these are completely straight. So that's what we did there. They're looking really nice, so I'm real happy with them. Then I don't use the string to actually get the height of these things, right? Because it'll sag or whatever. So I am checking the height with my laser on all of these to make sure that they are level, like height wise. Let me make sure they're all the same height. So I forgot to actually lay one here, like lay up a pillar with you guys. So over here, I will actually get into how to lay the pillar. So that's all the layout stuff that you need to know, and we'll get into actually laying the pillars over here. All right, so I'm only laying these 4 high, so it won't take too long. So I'll just go through the whole process of what we're doing. So like I said earlier, you got your green wall line, okay? Got that? And I'm centering the block on these saw cuts, because that's where the post is gonna fall. Should be okay. But so I marked center of my block to hit that, and I just gotta make sure I'm on the green lines. Then where I'm spreading my mud so I'm not making such a huge mess, I mean, I'm gonna make a little bit of a mess anyway, I traced it with a pencil so I know where to spread my mud. When I spread my mud, it's pretty similar to like brick, because this is about the size of a brick. So I'm working out of a wheelbarrow. I forgot a mud board today, but we can do the same thing. So I grab like a roll of mud, flop it down, roll it a little bit, flop it down, and you do that all the way around. Now, normally, if you're doing this, you can do just that, right? And you can start going up, but since I'm on a porch and we have the water pitching away, my block is going to set crooked. So just in this instance, I have to put a little extra mud over here. I'd rather be high on this side now that come down, because I can't push it down on the back because it's already sitting up higher. So then you're ready to set your block. Boop. So match up my center mark on that saw cut, green line, green line. Okay, so now all I gotta do is clean up this mud, but we'll wait a second. So when you do these are super crooked. They're not like perfect, right? You're only gonna get 2 good sides, right? And I like these 2 sides. I want this side to be right because I'm keeping them in line on the outside here with this side. So green line, we'll plumb this side, plumb this side. And that's all you gotta do. So we'll start with this. bad. Not bad. Now we can clean up our mud and make sure we're right, like positioning. Centered on that, that's where it goes. And then I can just take I tail out each way on this. So I go to the green line on that side, make sure I'm on the green line on this side. And I just tail it along, and now I'm done. I'm ready to move up. So, spreading on this, same thing. I just keep doing it like I'm spreading brick. So I just bring it across.
I'm gonna put something down so they don't soak water up.
All right, and then I just furrow it. Get that extra mud out of there. And then you're good for a second block. Now when you set these, it's easiest to be over top of it. Sometimes you can't do that. You want to sight down the corner that you have plumbed on the two sides. So I'm looking down it, looking along here, trying to make that corner perfect, because that's the only perfect corner you're going to get here. So now we do the same thing. Plumb the same side. This side. Clean up the mud on that side. And then you tail down. So I like to start on this outside corner just to make sure you get that plumb down that way. Then you can do this way, because one or the other. And then double check them. You can do this one too, but when you do this side, right, it's gonna mess up this plumb mark. So you can only do 1, 2, 3. Because if you're just gonna keep bumping it back and forth if you try to do both of these corners. So 1, 2, 3. Just as long as this corner is perfectly straight going up. And I know I gotta come down a little bit, so I'm not worried about height right now. I've been pinching a little bit on there. Alright, third course, same exact thing. Making sure you're pretty much getting every spot on the block covered. Watch your paws, big man. Watch your paws. Oh my gosh. Alright, same thing. You're looking over your corner. Getting her close. Plumbing. Same two sides again. Always only two sides. Now this next course, there's only one different thing about this. I'll get to that in a minute. So, talk about it now. These are perfectly plumb right now, right? When you level them, somehow, most of the time, you get one or the other, plumb or level. See, like this, it's not level this way, but it's perfectly plumb on these two sides. So that's why we're just plumbing up. So all you gotta worry about, clean up your mud, and we'll tail down. On this side. Double check, because they do move on you sometimes, so you always want to check them. So on the third course up, just because I want to make sure I'm not, you know, leaning or anything, which I wasn't, so you can see it chases the block perfectly. on all of my pillars. So you just gotta do that when you're going up, just to make sure you're running straight. But just wanted to show you that trick, just so your pillars are in a straight, perfect line. So now that we're on the top course, we can't plumb it, so it's going to be out of plumb a little bit when we're plumbing down. But on the top, it has to be perfectly level for whatever's going on top of here. So there's posts coming down. If you plumb it and this isn't level, they're going to have some slight issues. So I put it just a little bit out so I can hit it directly in the middle of these blocks. I'm not hitting the side, so that's why the level's up here. Level, and then same thing out of my way for hitting level. Now we gotta check our height. So I have this set for all of them here, right? Just turn that on, make sure we're good before I plumb down. The last one I had to pick it up and put more mud under it because it was a little low. So we'll see here. So I gotta come down a little bit, which is fine because I left it a little high. So when you do that, I just twist it. And that's about all we can get there. So it was within about an 1/8 inch there. So we'll, okay. Level it up again. So this is as much mud as I can squish out. Normally you check it as you go up, but I've been having to come down the whole time, so I've been pinching. Alrighty. Now this one's not wanting to go down because there's no mud left in there. Perfect. Okay. So now that I, hit it down so hard I can't get it up. I can't get it level, so I'm going directly under the middle here. Position this better before I do this. So that looks close to plumb there. I'm shoving this rock, come over here. Since I can't get it level, I'm shoving this shim under here, right? And I put it in there, and you can even tap the rock back down to where it's supposed to go. Double check this way. Good. Okay, now you can plumb down. Just make sure you slick in right here and you fill that kind of stuff back in. That's what happens when you go from plumbing to leveling. It makes it really challenging, especially since I had to smash my joint down there. That should have fixed my height problem. It's within a 1/16, we're good. Alright, and then you just plumb down and you are done. So with this one I go all the way to the footer. I put my foot against the bottom, look down over, make sure it's chasing. Like I said, it's not perfectly plumb here because we leveled the top. So you just got to make sure that it's touching that block where it's supposed to. You're not going to get this top one perfectly plumb. You get one or the other. All right, and I'm done. So there's only one more thing. If you notice, I didn't use any rebar, and that's because I'm only going 4 high and I didn't feel like picking them up over. If you notice, I don't have the best working conditions here. I'm not working off of my pad. I'm stepping down. I didn't feel like maneuvering around rebar. So now I'm gonna drill some holes. So when you are doing yours, make sure you have a way to put rebar in. If you're going up really high, you want to put the rebar in at a good time. Well, I'm fortunate enough I can just do it right here. So what I'm doing is I'm just drilling them, setting them in there, or pounding them in, and gonna throw some mortar around it. So alright, so I drilled the holes, put the rebar in here, and I've put some mud in there, I put some mud in there to hold them still, harden them up for when the concrete comes in. Now what we're gonna do is strike the joints. I'm gonna do the bottom one with you and just show you what you do. So all you do is take this part of your joiner, if this is what you're using, this is an S iron or whatever you want to call it, that's what I call it. Run it across there, and when you do these corners, you can't come this way. See how it rips the mud out, right? You can only go into the corner, right? In this way, in this way. If you go this way, it'll rip the mud out, like, yeah. So only go backwards here. Okay, that'll be real helpful for you instead of keep ripping the mud out. So we'll do this one. I'm just gonna do these couples so you get the idea. So same thing, into the corner, into the corner. Then since it's getting covered with stone veneer, we don't have to double strike this or anything, make it look pretty. Just brush those crumbs away so he can come put a scratch coat on it and be ready to lay. So that's it for these block pillars, and if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, and thanks for watching.